You know, when you think of concrete, you think of strength, right? It's the very foundation of our world. Solid, permanent, practically invincible. But what if I told you that inside every single one of those structures, there's a secret war going on? A constant battle against invisible enemies that decides if that building will last for a few decades or a few thousand years.
So let's get right into it. Think about this for a second. We've all seen pictures of the Pantheon or Roman aqueducts. They've been standing for over 2,000 years. And yet the bridges and buildings we put up today, we're designing them for a service life of maybe 50, maybe 100 years if we're lucky. It really feels like we've gone backwards, doesn't it? But the reason why is probably not what you're thinking.
See, the secret isn't just about how much weight it can hold. Compressive strength, that's the number we always hear about. It's important for sure, but it is not the key to a long life. So what is it? What's that hidden ingredient, that secret property that gives concrete its incredible staying power? Well, for a long time, we've been kind of living under an illusion. We crush a cylinder of concrete, we get a big number, and we think, great, this is good concrete. But we're finding out that the true measure of a structure that lasts isn't just its strength, it's its durability. Okay, so here's the official definition. Durability is all about resistance. You can think of it like the concrete's immune system. It's about its power to fight off all the constant attacks from the environment around it. And here's the crucial part. You can have a really strong concrete that is actually incredibly vulnerable. So if you want to build a fortress that lasts, you have to know your enemy. And believe it or not, concrete's greatest foe isn't a massive force like an earthquake. Nope, it's something way more common and a whole lot sneakier. That's it. Water. I know, it sounds almost harmless, but in the world of concrete durability, water is the ultimate Trojan horse. It doesn't need to knock the walls down with brute force. It just slips the enemy's army right through the front gate, undetected. Think about it this way. Water is the delivery service for everything that actually rots concrete from the inside out. We're talking about things like chlorides from road salt in the winter or sulfates that are naturally in the soil. Without water, most of these nasty chemical reactions can't even get started. It's simple, really. If you can keep the water out, you win the war. Okay, so if keeping water out is the name of the game, we need to know how it's getting in. What are its invasion routes? Engineers have figured out there are basically three main ways that these aggressive agents can infiltrate our concrete fortress. First up, you've got permeability. This is the most direct attack. Just imagine the concrete has this tiny microscopic network of tunnels running all through it. If you've water pressure on one side, let's say from groundwater pushing against a foundation, it will literally force water and anything dissolved in it right through that network. Next, there's diffusion. Now, this one is much, much sneakier. It doesn't need any pressure at all. All it needs is a difference in concentration. So if you have a lot of something nasty, like salt, on the outside and very little on the inside, those little salt ions will just slowly and patiently sneak their way through the water-filled pores to try and balance things out. And finally, we have sorption. Honestly, the easiest way to think about this is the sponge effect. If concrete is dry, its network of tiny little pores will literally suck in any moisture it can find through something called capillary action. And of course, it pulls in all the harmful chemicals that are dissolved in that water right along with it. Knowing the enemy's playbook is half the battle. The other half is knowing your own weaknesses. And that is where the engineer's spy kit comes into play. It's a whole set of specialized tests designed to see just how well a specific concrete mix can defend itself. So instead of just crushing a cylinder to see how strong it is, these tests are designed to measure things like how easily water can get through. Let's take a look at one of the most powerful tools in this kit, something called the Oxygen Permeability Index, or OPI for short. So an engineer runs the OPI test and gets a result, just a number. In this case, it's 8.2. So what on earth does that mean? Is that good? Bad? On its own, it's completely meaningless. It's just data. But then we bring in the context. And this table is what turns that abstract number into a crystal clear verdict. As you can see, an OPI value over 10 is considered very good quality. Anything below 9 is poor. So our result, 8.2, falls squarely in that poor category. This tells the engineer flat out that this concrete's defenses are weak. It's vulnerable to attack. Okay, so let's see how all this stuff plays out in a real-world scenario where the stakes are about as high as they can get.
I want you to picture a concrete column, part of a pier or a bridge, standing right in the ocean. It's not just fighting one battle, it's fighting several different battles at the exact same time. You see, the part of the column that's always underwater is facing one set of threats. The part that's way up high, just exposed to the misty air, faces another. But the section in the middle, the splash zone, oh, that is the real war zone. And the engineer has to design different defenses for each of those specific threats.
And this table just lays out the complexity of that fight perfectly. Down in the submerged zone, it's constantly wet, so you're dealing with diffusion and permeation. Way up in the atmospheric zone, it's mostly about drying and wetting, so sorption is the big one. But just look at that tidal and splash zone. It gets hit with everything, the whole arsenal. It's wet, then it's dry, it gets splashed, it gets submerged. It is facing every single invasion route all at once.
So the next time you see a high rise going up, or you drive across a bridge, I want you to remember this invisible battle that's happening deep inside the concrete. It's not just a simple fight of strength against gravity. It's a complex chemical war of resistance against infiltration. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we build the world of tomorrow, are we just focused on making things strong enough for today? Or are we truly building fortresses designed to last for generations?